Welcome to Honest Hockey, where two guys talk about all things hockey. Honestly, I'm Tom and he's Tom, and thanks for joining us today. So Tom, there's something a brewing.
There's something a brewing. There's a storm a brewing.
Yes.
And it's heading right for the 6, Toronto, Canada.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about the Maple Leafs.
We're going to be talking about the Maple Leafs.
And the failure of the Maple Leafs.
Right. So I'm going to take you guys back on a trip.
Ooh.
Get back in our time machine. We're going to go to May 2nd, 1967.
Oh, wow. That's a long time for
I wasn't born.
I wasn't born.
Right, exactly. But you know who was a champion, a Stanley Cup champion in 6 games? Champions. The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow.
Pandemonium in the city of Toronto.
Oh, yes.
They're like, we are coming for you, Montreal. We're going to beat you. We're going to pass you around the Stanley Cups. We're going to be the most hallowed franchise in the history of hockey.
Yeah.
You would have thought that was the last cup the Toronto Maple Leafs ever won.
Oh, okay.
And then they didn't even make the playoffs next year.
So that's a common theme.
Yep.
They win.
Then they lose.
Then they lose.
Then they kind of win. But they just can't get back to the Stanley Cup.
And now, from the 67 to like the 2000s, early 2000s,
they were there.
They were there.
They were there.
They were winning, but they were losing, but they weren't really doing much.
Right. They weren't great in the 70s. They were making playoff runs. It was back to a time where we were all alive. Hopefully. If you're watching this video and you weren't alive then, I don't know what to tell you. 2012, 2013.
Wow.
Toronto Maple Leafs are going to do it. They're going to beat their hated rivals, the Boston Bruins.
Let's back it up a little bit, In 2004, they had a beautiful span of not qualifying for the playoffs.
Right.
A little too long.
Right.
They're trading, they're doing all the stuff, and not qualifying still. Now we go back.
2012, 2013.
Yeah.
They're in Game 7.
Beautiful.
Boston Bruins.
Ooh.
Up 4-1.
Did you say
the Bruins?
The Bruins?
The Boston, the Storm that was up brewing. They're a 4-1. 4-1. That's the what's the worst lead in hockey? A what?
A 3-2 lead.
Right.
No,
a 2-goal lead.
2-goal lead.
This is a 3-goal lead.
Yeah.
But it's halfway through the third. What could go wrong? Nathan Horton scores 9 minutes in. Lucic scores 18 minutes in.
Oh man.
Bergeron scores 19 minutes in. Guess what? The entire city of Toronto is shook to their core because they just blew a 4-1 lead. And the game is heading into overtime. But Toronto's going to win the game in overtime.
Who do you have that pick, Tom? To win the overtime?
For the Butchie Overtime Challenge,
yes.
Yeah, I would probably say Patrice Bergeron for the Bruins.
Okay. At what time?
This is an extreme game.
Yeah, this is extreme.
John Butchergrass. Come on, we got a new game for it. You also have to take the time of the goal.
Yes.
I would say 6:05.
Or what's OT?
6:05 in the first overtime.
Okay. So what happens at 6:05 in the OT?
Patrice Bergeron scores the goal, completing the comeback, and legitimately killing the entire city of Toronto. They have nothing to live for.
Now mayhem does ensue. Riots. Things breaking. Lamps on the floor.
The CN Tower fell down. It was wild.
They built it back the next day.
Yeah, it was incredible.
No one got hurt.
And then the Boston Bruins went on to losing the Stanley Cup final that year.
Yeah, listen. The Chicago Blackhawks, they were too of a good team that year, but besides the point.
But we digress. Yeah. That really was the
pinnacle.
The pinnacle of failure for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Do you know how hard it is to blow a 4-1 lead halfway through the third period? You have to be actively trying to do that.
Yeah.
And then to just not have the ability to come back in overtime and have pride and win the game.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned the year like 03-04.
Yeah.
That was the last time they made it out of the first round.
This 2013.
Yes.
They didn't qualify for a few more years after that.
Correct.
And they finally did it.
Right.
They did it.
Right.
Why did they do it, Tom? What a first round pick he was.
Austin hit him with the 4 Matthews. Mm-hmm. The second best American hockey player in the league. Oh, I was thinking after Adam Fox.
Keep on going.
So then they've had some success with Austin Matthews, you'd say, right?
Well,
playoff.
Listen.
Success. They're making the playoffs.
Success.
They're making the playoffs. What are they doing with these playoff berths?
They're losing in the first round.
Yes. They're losing to teams they should not be losing to. They lost to, in the bubble, they lost to Columbus. Columbus, not a great team.
They did beat the Lightning.
Yes.
What? That's here.
That was also the year before.
Yeah. I like that.
This year, they lose to the Montreal Canadiens. Now,
Okay, let's raise a hand. Who had Montreal Canadiens beating Toronto? Everyone by half their hand down. There ain't no one, not a soul. Maybe even the Canadiens fans were sitting there saying, not it. They ain't gonna be the year.
They were saying it in French, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It ain't not yet.
That was Italian. That was the very small area of downtown Montreal that speaks Italian. Beautifully done. Oui, oui, monsieur. They're all like, "Do you want a croissant?"
I love the Canadiens. Please don't hate us.
I don't. I hate the city of Montreal.
You hate the city. You don't hate the people.
Oh yeah. Okay, whatever. City of Montreal stinks. Anyway.
But like they have a lot of top team players, right?
Right. So Austin Matthews.
Beautiful. Love him, right?
We don't need you, John Tavares.
John Tavares.
By the way, which team is having more success in the
Why
John
am I
Tavares
leaned
era?
in? This is a very intense subject.
Yes. Which team is having more success in the John Tavares era? The Toronto Maple Leafs or the New York Islanders?
Oh. Bruins.
Correct, the Bruins, yes. No, the New York Islanders have had way more success
without him.
Now, you could say maybe that's due to Barry Trotz.
That's okay.
But
Barry Trotz has been there. He's turned it around.
They actually weren't lying. They don't need you, John Tavares.
But in the title down here, you can see it's about the Maple Leafs.
Right. Mitchell Marner.
Mitchell who?
Mitchell Marner.
Mitchell Marner.
Also known as Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
3 good players, right?
Amazing players.
The 3 of them...
Wait, they play on the same team together?
They all play on the same team together.
Wow.
They make $33.5 million combined.
Yeah.
They make
$33.5 million!
41% of the entire salary cap of the Toronto Maple Leafs is tied up in those 3 players.
41.
Now,
and we didn't even add... Who was the third one? The fourth one?
Nylander.
Nylander
makes
at
almost
6.
7. Almost 7.
Like, it would be easy 48%.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
So now, okay, maybe these players are worth it.
Of course.
Of course, Austin Matthews,
come.
fantastic regular season. Mitch Marner, fantastic regular season. John Tavares, a good second-line center.
You would think, wow, playoffs, they're going to show up.
Well,
I think they showed up to the wrong show.
Yeah, they
finger skating.
They thought they were playing for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes.
So we're gonna
they whiffed.
Yeah, we're gonna give Tavares a little bit of a
that's okay.
Pass.
Yeah.
He was absolutely demolished.
Get well, John.
In that game, get well. It's good to see you skating. Now you have all off season to get ready for next year.
You can skate all off season now.
Yeah. So Tavares, you're not in trouble in this conversation because you got absolutely destroyed by Corey Perry. Yeah. Austin Matthews, $11.6 million a year.
You would think.
Couple goals, right? 1 goal, 4 assists.
Aye.
Mitch Marner, $10.9 million a year.
Okay, maybe like 2 goals, right?
No goals, 4 assists.
Aye.
So now, let's.
But who scored the goals?
Let's look. $7 million man who Maple Leafs fans hate with a passion and have been trying to run out of town for a couple years. Willie Nylander, 5 goals this series. 80-year-old Jason Spezza scoring goals.
Man, Tom, I was thinking about another team.
Well, so
the Avalanche.
This is what I was going to say. I'm going to ask you a trivia question.
Okay. Oh, God.
Who is the best player in the league?
McDavid.
Connor McDavid. Now, a lot of people would put Austin Matthews second on that list. Who would be third on that list, in your opinion? Does he play for Colorado?
I think so.
Nathan McKinnon?
I know that guy.
Yeah. In Game 1 versus the Golden Knights, he had more goals than Austin Matthews had in a 7-game series against Montreal. Gabriel Landeskog also more goals in that game than Austin Matthews had the entire season. Brendan Saad has had more goals that series than Mitch Marner had the entire series. But that's not here nor there. Nathan McKinnon, I think, should be locked into the second best player of the league conversation. He's obviously much clutcher than Austin Matthews. Does Austin Matthews have the clutch gene? It doesn't look like it.
Not at the moment.
If he did, he would will this team to victory because you know what? This team is more talented than Connor McDavid's Edmonton team. There's more depth on this team.
So what's the issue then?
I don't think you're going to like my answer.
Go ahead.
They're cursed. There's a voodoo curse put on them for their 1967 championship.
I wonder what they did to them.
Now, really, what do you think is the problem with this team? Besides the obvious voodoo curse.
Besides the voodoo curse.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like there's too much weight on the top.
Mm-hmm.
This comes down to the people on the top. The people, the owners, the GMs, the presidents.
The Kyle Dubas and the Sheldon Keefes of the world.
Yes. They're an amazing team, but I think there's so much weight at the top right now that they can't get people to be able to keep up with the weight.
Right.
They cannot physically hold up Matthews and Marner and John.
And John.
And I don't know why I was like,
Hey, John.
Hey, John, what's going on? Call us. Are you back on Long Island? Or are you
Yeah,
not
let us
there?
turn you back on Long Island. We'll get dinner. Borelli's. Heard it's a terrible place to eat food.
So, but yeah. Anyways.
You know who the real problem here is? The real person to blame. Young Guns Igor Korshkov. He might be on loan in the KHL for this year, but he's the scapegoat for Toronto.
Yeah.
Great job, Igor. You didn't even show up in the playoffs this year.
Do you want that card? Well, now you definitely don't want it now.
You know who else is an issue? What a trade deadline acquisition.
You would
Taylor
think,
Hall has been,
right? Yes.
Taylor Hall, fantastic. Right next to him, Nick Foligno. What a job Nick Foligno did on Toronto.
One assist.
One assist, and that was, I think, in game 1.
Beautiful. Jesus.
Zach Hyman, 1 goal in the series. And his nickname is Chris Kreider 2.0. Chris Kreider is more clutch than you, sir.
They can't see.
He's gone. All 3 of them. Pathetic. Toronto should be ashamed of themselves for the way that to blow a 3-1. I wouldn't blame them as much if they had just lost in 5, lost in 6 to Montreal. You got outworked. You blew a 3-1 series lead against a much inferior team, and you're giving that Montreal team false hope because you put them on a roll and they're going to beat Winnipeg and then they're going to forfeit against Colorado. You, Toronto, gave the entire city of Montreal false hope.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen how badly this Toronto team wouldn't gotten steamrolled by Colorado and Vegas. Because if they lost to Montreal...
Oh, forget it. Imagine.
And here we were thinking Toronto had a chance to make a name for themselves, get rid of the ghost of the past, and no, they're just as pathetic as they always were. But thank you, because now the Rangers don't have the longest Stanley Cup drought of all time. It belongs to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
But, I like to say, because I obviously Isles fans, so it'll be like, oh, well, you had the longest drought, and now we don't, but whatever, right? Before we did. I will have to say to that, is that the Maple Leafs have, no playoff success. After, the 04-05 seasons, around there. At least the Rangers had
Their attempt at playoff success was blowing a 4-1 lead against the Bruins.
Yeah.
The Rangers had playoff success. We're not getting into the Rangers in this video. We just wanted to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for basically overpassing us.
Thank you. What do you think needs to happen?
Blow it all up.
Pull out a letter, as they're saying now.
We'll
start the letter for you.
Yeah, dear Maple Leafs fans. Okay, you guys finish the rest.
Okay.
We got the starter for you. But no, I think they should look into getting rid of John Tavares. 30 years old, making $11 million. Not a recipe for success.
Maybe retain some salary.
Yeah, get whatever you can.
Mitch
Marner making 10.9.
Unless
Freddie Anderson making 5.
That's almost gone.
Nothing.
Now.
Yeah,
that's
gone. He's a free agent, correct.
And now I know, obviously, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Jack Campbell Chicken Noodle Soup.
Yes. He didn't play that well. He did not play that well.
He did not play like Carey Price.
I felt like there was better, what was it, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, where there was this goalie, there was goalies everywhere for everyone.
You get a goalie.
And they picked Campbell.
Yes.
Out of everything.
Yes.
That was where they kind of went wrong.
Don't worry. I know what'll fix the Maple Leafs.
What?
Alexander Georgiev. Straight up. William Nylander. Call it a deal.
Okay.
Thanks for watching this episode of Honest Hockey. Be sure to give us a like if you enjoyed. And don't forget to cross the subscribe button. I'm sorry, City of Toronto. You're pathetic. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Go Bolton.
You know it's bad when Columbus beats them.
Yeah, that's
pathetic.
And their jersey suck.
Yeah.